If you find yourself spending a boatload of money on marketing and not seeing the results that you expect, then this conversation is for you. My name is AJ. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ProLine, the CRM that sells more jobs. And today I'm sitting down with Joseph Hughes of Contractor Dynamics. Contractor Dynamics is a marketing training company that specializes in helping roofing contractors to build internal marketing systems and strategy that allows them to be at the GC of their own marketing and lead generation instead of having to rely on expensive outside agencies. Let's get into it. We're here at the International Roofing Expo, and I'm joined by Joseph Hughes.
Good going, AJ.
Thanks for joining me.
Pleasure to be here. Yeah, what a great day so far.
Yeah, man, it's been a little hectic, but lots of fun.
Yes.
I am pleasantly surprised at how many people are here. It's actually quite a packed show.
Well, you were setting up. I was outside waiting to get in. There's a huge line of people just waiting to get in. So it's been a great attendance.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Why don't we just get started? Give me the elevator pitch on Contractor Dynamics for anyone listening that doesn't know who you are.
Sure. Most roofing companies don't know how to build their brand and generate consistent, predictable lead flow. So we're a marketing training company. We help roofing companies build and run their own marketing so they can take control of their marketing, their growth, their future. So that's in a nutshell what we do. We're a marketing training company, and we work only with roofing companies all day, every day. That's all we do.
That's fantastic. And I've heard you talk about before. You've mentioned kind of being the GC of your marketing.
Love that.
Can you kind of explain that? Because that stuck with me when I heard you say that.
Okay, cool. So typical roofing company owner is like, all right, I'm wearing all these hats, right? I'm a business owner. I'm wearing all these hats. I don't understand marketing. I don't want to do it. I just want to hire someone else to do it for me, right? So you're subcontracting your marketing, but you have no idea what you're hiring for, how to hire, how to hold that company accountable. So that would be like, if you're a roofing contractor and you had like an HVAC unit on a commercial roof, and you don't know anything about HVAC, you just hire some random subcontractor, tell them to show up at the job on Friday. They're going to do something, but it's probably not going to be what you want, right? So very similar to marketing. So what we encourage our clients to do is become the GC of your own marketing. So someone inside your roofing company should be creating the strategy, creating the budget, creating your game plan, your playbook, doing some of your marketing. So as a general contractor, you're self-performing some of that work, and then you're subbing some of it out to maybe an agency or direct mail or whatever that might be. But when you're subbing it out, it's part of a holistic plan and budget and strategy. You know how to hire that marketing subcontractor. You know how to keep them accountable. You know how to work with them, collaborate with them. You know how to get the reports that you need to track your data. And it's this whole system. It's not just like blindly outsourcing things to random vendors you might see at IRE. So when you're the general contractor, you're on time, you're on budget. If things go off track, which they always do, you know enough to get them back on track. So you have more control over that situation. So that's the general contractor your own marketing is.
That's fantastic.
Glad that landed.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it really sticks in your head. I started my career in marketing before I moved into the software side, and I remember always thinking like it's the most expensive part is the strategy. Like it's the person that fits all the puzzle pieces together. And so if you're just handing marketing to someone and just saying, "Hey, help me," you're going to pay a massive premium for them to figure out how to put the pieces together for you.
Yes. And, if they don't know what they're doing and there's no strategy, they're going to be learning on your dime. So, yeah, you're right. That's the most expensive part. We can pay for the labor, but really the thinking is really where, that's what we have to do as business owners. We can't outsource our thinking, right? We can't say, hey, marketing agency, like, do your thing. They're not going to be creating a strategy for you. Right. And if they do, it might not be aligned with what you want.
Yeah. You're giving up that control.
Exactly.
Giving up a lot of control.
And usually a marketing agency will jump right in like, okay, you sign up today. It's January 20th. Hey, we're going to get started next week. We're going to get ads going. Let's go. There's no, hey, tell me about your business. What are your goals? Like, what do you want? What's your ideal client? What's your ideal project? Like, where are you going over the next 3 years? There's no strategy. It's just like, let's get the ads going. Let's hit our quota of leads. And that's the majority of marketing agencies out there. So,
right. They're just going to try to hit whatever number they think is needed to keep you as a client So their
Yeah.
incentives aren't necessarily perfectly aligned with yours because
Right.
they're not trying to get you the best clients or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one's going to care more than you about your business, right? No one knows more about your business, your market, your clients. No one's going to care more about you and your business and your clients and your market. So you really got to take control of that and stop blindly outsourcing it. Like, we outsource things. Our clients work with agencies as well, but don't blindly outsource it. Like, meaning don't close your eyes and just like pick some random marketing agents.
Yeah, 100%. With that in mind, because you're paying such a premium on marketing going down the agency route, how do you approach and recommend that contractors think about budgeting for marketing and how to like decide how much they're going to spend on marketing? Because there's a lot of people who are like, just take 10% and put that towards marketing. But
Yep.
do you think about it differently?
Yes, we do. So bottom line is that we at Contractor Dynamics encourage roofing companies to do about 5%.
Okay.
Right? So that might be contrary to what a lot of people do or think or research. So if you Google that, like, what should my marketing, or ChatGPT that, or AI that nowadays, we need to stop saying, like, if you Google that.
Okay.
If you search that, you'll see, like, okay, if you're status quo mode, like maintaining 5%, if you want to grow, it's going to be 10%, right? I believe that 10% is overpaying and you should be at 5%. The reason is
Even in
because,
grow mode?
yeah, even in growth mode. Maybe a little bit more if you know what you're doing, right? But a lot of these agencies will say, like, oh, you got to spend this, and they're trying to like spend money on your dime,
Yeah.
or they're trying to learn on your dime rather.
Right.
But the 5% is when you're injecting your strategy, your thinking, your time, your effort, your creativity, your video content. So that's going to enable your 5% to go way further than your 10%. So a lot of times roofing companies are at 10%, they're buying leads, they're spending money in agencies, they're way overpaying. And some of them, they realize that, like, man, I'm not getting the return that I used to get. So it's that 5%, according to what we believe and what we see. However, you're also putting in your time, your effort, your creativity, creating organic content and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's what we believe. And a lot of our clients they have that in-house marketing team, they are at around that 5%.
5%.
Because a good roofing company should be at 40% repeat referral business, right?
Yeah.
So it's the client experience, it's technology like ProLine and things like that. Those are all things that can help you to create a better experience, differentiate yourself, make higher margins, get better referrals, better reviews, and all that. So you should be at 40% repeat referral. And I think the companies that don't invest in client experience and things like that, they're not getting to that 40. They might be at 20. Therefore, they're trying to buy 80% of their leads. And so there's so much that goes into that. But yeah, 5% is my final answer.
I love that. So yeah, 5%.
And there's always exceptions, and there's always context, and always nuance. So if you're seeing this, don't be like, oh, Joe said 5%, I can't spend more than that. There's always context to everything.
Yeah.
And that goes for any aspect of business, CRMs. Like, ProLine is not the best CRM for every roofing company out there.
Yep.
Is that okay to say?
Yeah, that's okay. That's absolutely true. We're not. And like, we will tell you, our team will tell you when they're talking to someone or a roofing contractor on a demo, they'll be like, we're not a good fit for you if they're not a good fit. And that's important. It's important to know who is your customer, who's not.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of nuance. To your point, there's a lot of nuance when you're deciding on any
Right.
what you're budgeting for marketing. What software tech stack do you use? So, there's no blanket statements can't always hold true.
No, and I think a lot of people get in trouble like that, right?
Yeah.
Roofing company, you might see someone else at an event like this or in your market or on social media. They're crushing it with Google ads or direct mail or whatever it is. But you got to think about all these different nuances, like how long you've been in business, what your marketing already looks like, how much money you have in your bank account, how much of a risk tolerance you have, right? Like, do you need a return on your money in 90 days? Or are you okay investing now and not seeing that return for a year or so? Have you raised money? Do you have partners? How fast do you want to grow? I had a conversation with a client last night, and he's asking me about, hey, should we hire a full-time in-house video guy? I was like, well, I don't know. How fast do you want to get to your goal? Like, what does that look like? Because my answer will depend on, how fast they want to go. So there's always context.
The specific scenario. But the main things that are going to hold true is that if you're outsourcing being the GC, you're going to pay a big premium. That's going to bump it up. And if you're trying to offset not having a good referral engine, then that's also going to bump it up. And that's how you end up at like that 10% or higher. Right.
Yeah, that leaky bucket, which I know you probably have talked about that with ProLine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just pumping leads into that bucket, I think a lot of you guys have seen that, and there's holes in the bucket, everything's falling out the sides. And so you're just chasing leads, but you really should patch up that bucket first.
Right, and you've talked about this before. It's like a lot of contractors think that they have a lead problem.
Right.
And sometimes it's not a lead problem. And often it's either like leaky bucket or you talk about it being a marketing problem. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Why do contractors not have a lead problem?
Why do they not have a lead problem?
When they sometimes think they do.
Man, I guess you should look at your numbers, right? So, what's your goal? You're at 3 million last year. You want to get to 5. Okay, that's a $2 million increase. That's a big jump, right? How many jobs is that? What's your average job size? Therefore, how many customers do you need? How many appointments do you need? Then how many leads do you need? And figure all that out. And so I think most contractors just optimize for, hey, I need this many leads, but they're not looking at their conversion rate into appointments. And then that conversion rate, your close rate from appointment to contract, and then, your profit margin, the job size, and all of that. So obviously ProLine helps a lot with that. Speed to lead is huge. So it's a system. It's a system. It's not just leads, right? So that's why we focus so much on education. If we get a prospect reaching out to us, a roofing company, like, hey, I need more leads. Well, let's back up and have a conversation about, like, what does your marketing system look like, right?
Yeah, basically examine every aspect of that bucket and find every single hole first.
Because there's all these different levers that you can, all these things that you can turn, these dials, if you will, right? So the way that we look at our company is all those different things. How many SQLs are we getting every week? What's our conversion rate into our two-call close process? So conversion rate that first call, conversion to the second call, conversion into the contract, and then the average dollar of that contract. So optimizing all those little things. It's like little tweaks in those little areas that compound.
The compounding effects.
Yeah, and if you're doing great marketing, well, maybe you can increase your prices or at least not get beat up on price as much. Therefore, your average ticket is going up. Therefore, you need less projects, fewer projects, and then fewer appointments and fewer leads. If you're just to do better marketing, differentiate before you generate that lead, then maybe you don't need as many leads.
Yeah, you start attracting people that specifically want to work with you before they've even talked.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Show the value before the lead's generated. Yeah.
I love that. One thing about your content that I really like is that you don't just focus on the tactics. You focus on the strategy, but also even further up, mindset, leadership. I see you talk about that a good bit. Describe like the ideal roofing contractor leader? Like what does a good leader in a roofing business look like?
Wow, that's such a great question. I love leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. That's a John Maxwell quote, and I've never seen that be disproven in my life and career. Everything rises and falls on leadership. Vision, getting clear on where you're going. Sharing that with your team, making sure everyone understands that clear vision and that you're generally on the same page with that, what that looks like. Building leaders, attracting great people, equipping them with the tools that they need to build their great careers and do their jobs and grow. Extreme ownership, that's one of our core values. So if your marketing's not working, like, don't blame your agency. Ask yourself how you can take more ownership over your branding, your marketing, or your CRM. Don't blame your CRM. How much time have you put into actually learning how to use your CRM, right? Reach out to your rep at your CRM or technology software company, whatever that might be. So vision, team, core values. We run on EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System, which I love. Just learning and growing every single day. One of the things I've been focusing on this year so far is creating more space in my calendar to just think and not just do. Because we're so good at that, right? We're so good at working hard. But we have to take time to think and just be and sit still.
Yeah.
So those are a few things. I mean, obviously, we could go on and on about leadership.
I'll touch on one part of that because I have found that for ProLine, stating our vision, making sure that our team understands the vision has been so impactful. But I could see a lot of roofers kind of pushing back on that, saying like, we're a roofing company, like our vision is to sell more roofs, right? It's just So they're like, why is this important? It's obvious what we're trying to do here. What would your response to that be? That pushback?
One of the examples is Josh Sparks. He's the founder of Infinity Exteriors. Now he's the CEO of Infinity Home Services, so they're one of the big key platforms. I've gotten to know Josh over the past couple of years, and their whole motto from day one when he started Infinity Exteriors in Wisconsin in 1999, I believe, was we are something like, I'm going to paraphrase this and probably butcher it, but ridding the world of unscrupulous contractors. So that's kind of their why, right? So he saw all these roofing contractors taking advantage of homeowners, and their why was, hey, we're going to be that company that educates homeowners and treats them right and takes care of them and whatnot. So I think that's a really good example of having a strong why. You know, it could be like providing homeowners with the experience that they deserve. It could be providing great careers to people that join your organization. That's a big why for me and for a lot of companies that we work with. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but
No, that's fantastic. Like,
and if it's not that, I get it. Like, money is a big part of business as well. Like, okay, we want to build a $10 million company. Why do we want to do that? Well, we want to do that because we want to be able to provide great careers for great people. We want to be able to, be a positive influence in our community, give back to, local organizations, whatever that might be. The motivation for money only takes you so far.
yeah, no, that makes total sense.
But if it is money, that's okay. Just be straight up with that,
The main thing is to dig down for yourself as the leader and figure out what is that vision for you. And then maybe it does look like a lot of other companies, maybe it doesn't. But what is that why, right?
Yeah. And I think, I know this is our experience at Contractor Dynamics. It's going to shift for different people in the organization, right? So when I first started out and I was client facing like every day, that was more the why. Now I love our clients. My why has also evolved to include our team members. How can we create awesome careers, growth potential, financial upside for our team members? And then leaders in our organization, they might go from client facing, but they might not want to do that forever. So what else do they want to do in the organization? So their why is going to evolve.
It's going to evolve. What role do you see personal development playing in a leader's effectiveness?
I think it all ties together. I mean, I know there's exceptions to everything. I just don't personally understand if someone is not really learning and learning every day, taking care of themselves, mindset, physically, how they can be great leaders. That might not land with everyone, but I believe it all ties together. So we need to first lead ourselves and be the person that we need to be. So, for example, you and I are doing 75 hard right now. It's okay that we bring that into the conveyor.
100%.
And I think you and I are both aligned in that. Our why behind that is that we are running good organizations and we want to be the leaders that can lead those companies to the next level. And I know that in order to do that, I need to lead myself and be the best version of myself. So I'm all in on personal development. I mean, to me, it's huge. Maybe not everyone needs that. I know I need that to be a great leader for my company. So self-awareness is key.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What would you say? We'll kind of wrap this up with just a list here. So what would you say the three top sort of traps that roofing contractors tend to fall into when it comes to marketing and leadership and mindset that you see kind of repeatedly that contractors should work to avoid?
I would say number one is not making the space and time to think about what you're doing and why and your vision. So getting clear on that.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that sounds like theoretical, but I mean, it really is. I mean, you want to attract great people. They want to know where they're going and they want to understand how they can build great careers in your company. So I would say trap number one is not making the time to get clear on that, where you're going and why. Number two, as far as marketing, refusing to educate yourself on marketing. And I say refusing because we all have the opportunity to educate ourselves on anything we want these days. There's no shortage of information. So if you don't understand marketing, that's your fault. You're refusing to do that, right? Yeah. If I don't educate myself on the financial aspect of my business, well, I can't complain if my bookkeeper doesn't do his job or my CFO like takes advantage of us, which he would never do. This is amazing. But like, we have to take ownership over educating ourselves. We don't have to market. We don't have to be marketing experts, but we have to educate ourselves on every aspect of our business. That's marketing, sales, technology, finance, you name it. The third trap, I would say, wow, this is a great question.
I'm getting up there I'm approaching 10,000 questions. My questions would be
on
my questions.
So the third trap. So we have clarity, vision. We have educating yourself. Man, I would say focus. Especially in today's day and age, we are flooded with information and content overload. Focus is really a superpower. How can we get clear on what we want and then say no to what doesn't fit within that? And that could include anything from new business ideas to staying off social media. It's something that I work on every day. It's really hard to focus these days. Yeah, I mean, that's a superpower.
As an entrepreneur, it's so tempting to chase that next shiny object.
Yes.
Whether that falls in your business or outside of your business, different idea entirely. It's so tempting now.
Yeah.
Because it's part of what drives you to start that first thing that's working is also what then drives you to like chase that other idea.
Yeah, the newness gives you that dopamine rush.
I've seen this in my own life, and I have so many friends that are entrepreneurial that I've surrounded myself with, but it's just like there's kind of this watershed where it's entrepreneurs that stayed focused and entrepreneurs that just kept chasing the new thing indefinitely. And
right.
The only way you can really build something that's lasting and impressive is focus.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll try to follow my own advice.
I totally get it. Well, thank you so much, Joe.
Yes.
And I appreciate you joining me. And
thank you.
Yeah, it was a good chat.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.